Hi everyone, Summer Game Vids here with a new video for you guys. Today we're going to be taking a look at something I've been working on for a little while now, and I'm giving you my initial thoughts and impressions with the PS5. I was able to get my hands on one, and yeah, I just want to give you guys a PC gamer's perspective, as well as if I recommend checking it out. I know a lot of people have already done these videos, but I just thought I'd give you my take on it. So here we go. Alright, so the journey to the PS5. First of all, like, why would I even want one? I'm a PC gamer right now, and I have a pretty, I would say, powerful rig, but I was really craving that quality console experience. I have a lot of good memories with my PS3. Unfortunately, it died on me about a year, maybe a year and a half ago, and ever since then I was like, I'm not going to get the PS4, I'm just going into the PS5, since most of the PS4 games should be backwards compatible, at least at the time that's what they were saying, and with the exception just of a handful, mostly every game is backwards compatible that's a PS4 game on the PS5. The other thing was I recently purchased about a year ago an OLED television. OLED TV is awesome because it gives you amazing color reproduction, the deepest contrast, deepest blacks, almost like an infinite contrast ratio, and HDR looks pretty spectacular on this monitor as well. It also includes a 120 hertz refresh rate, but I haven't been able to utilize that because there's unfortunately no devices that really take advantage of like HDMI 2.1 spec output right now, or like I guess you could say it's an input to the TV from the PS5. But yeah, the new consoles can do that, so I was kind of curious to see what this would look like in terms of a gaming experience. And also, like, I really missed out on some of the PS exclusives, such as The Last of Us 2, the Spider-Man games, as well as this recent title, Ghost of Tsushima, which if you haven't seen it before, definitely stay tuned for some gameplay footage. It's pretty awesome. The DualSense controller also seems kind of revolutionary in the sense that it offered not just like your standard rumble features, but it offered haptic feedback based on whatever was happening in the game, which I thought was really neat and interesting. The hardware and software integration that Sony has is really great. Kind of like, I would say, maybe not on the level of Apple, but definitely it's pretty good. The main thing is that I like that, and they've been touting, is this NVMe SSD. I believe it's like a PCIe Gen 4 NVMe drive, and they can really utilize this to revolutionize the way they design games with super fast load times. It was really kind of shown in that Ratchet and Clank demo when they kind of unveiled the system a while ago, and how he would, like, the characters would actually be able to traverse the worlds within like seconds. Normally you would have to be on an elevator or kind of have a loading screen before you can get to that next I guess you could say map, or those textures could kind of be loaded in. So yeah, I'm kind of intrigued to see what they can kind of do with that as this hardware gets developers get more experience with the hardware. And then finally, last but not least, this is a real similar, at least in hardware specs, to a PC. For example, it has custom Zen 2 and RDNA 2 SoC architecture. And SoC just stands for System on a Chip, so everything, including the memory, the graphics, all of that is just on one piece of silicon. So yeah, I was interested to see how this would perform in like kind of the rasterization, which have been just your typical FPS, but then also how it would do with ray tracing, because this is the first generation of consoles to have that ability. And again, I'm not expecting anything great, it's just the fact that it even has that ability is pretty awesome. And I really think that AMD learned something from building these consoles that help them in terms of their power efficiency gains, that they really are now able to implement on the PC side, because that's that was an area that they really struggled in. And I think because they had to design these consoles with this strict power envelope, they really found a way to maximize the performance of those processors. So yeah, I definitely think it wasn't just that they were trying to make money making the consoles. I think they were using it as an opportunity to learn and grow, and I think it really paid off for them. So the first challenge is like trying to get one, right? So how do you get one of these consoles? It's kind of getting crazy. I'm hearing people, all kinds of news stories where people are camping out and sleeping outside, and there's only like one or two at the store. So again, my experience was a little bit different. I wasn't lucky enough to be sampled one or be given one for review. I used my own money to purchase one because again, I really wanted to experience it for myself and just kind of play some of these older PS4 games that I never had a chance to play. So I figured I would try my luck on launch night / day and see what happens. If I didn't get it, it wasn't the end of the world. It was just something cool to say that I was able to do. And yeah, I was like, if it works out, that'd be pretty amazing. But if it doesn't, like, it's not a big deal. So I didn't have too much experience like doing console hunting on like launch day. I've never really gotten anything like that before. I usually wait a couple of months until they figure out some of the bugs and then watch reviews and such. So anyway, long story short, I found Jake Randall's live stream. He's a YouTuber, and he was actually trying to give people tips and tricks to kind of snag one on launch day. And yeah, he was just giving a lot of encouragement, and I was like, hey man, like if he's giving all these people help, maybe he can help me too. So I think the first store that he mentioned was Target. I actually had it in my cart, but as noted in the tips, there was some issues with the I guess like finishing the checkout process, so I wasn't able to get it from Target. But what was suggested in the live stream was having all your account and payment information stored in these websites, and for that particular website and maybe some others, having your PayPal account kind of linked to your retailer account. Why? It just was allowing you to bypass some of these verification, I guess, screens, and that's kind of what kept me, at least from the Target website, from getting it. Everyone was kind of getting excited because Walmart had these like specified like drops throughout the day, and as usual, this site was getting overwhelmed by bots and just everybody trying to get on and trying to snag one at the same time. But at the same time, on Jake Randall's live stream, he was like, hey, my mods are telling me that the PS store has some stock, like just log in there and try to get one on there. I was already logged in though, so yeah, I just as I was refreshing the page, it's the add to cart button appeared, and then it did require me to put all my payment information again, but the site didn't crash, and they have a queue system, so I really think that's really how they should do it. They do that for like concerts, they do that for other kinds of events. They can also incorporate like captchas on these different retailer websites, which I know they are doing, but I just think they're not necessarily doing enough to like kind of deal with the bots, in my opinion. And I mean, I guess it's good for their bottom line. They're selling out pretty much all their stock, and they don't, sometimes they are selling, like for example, the graphics card, they're selling them for an upsale price. So yeah, I don't think that they're really hurting, but they really could help, consumers if they could just incorporate some of these more, I guess, security features on their website. But anyway, so I was able to get one from the PS official store or the PlayStation official store. It's by Sony. It took about 1.5 days to get to me. I didn't pay for the expedited shipping, but somehow they just gave that to me for free, which is awesome. And yeah, it was in my hands, and it kind of felt like if you remember that scene from Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory when he wins, he gets a golden ticket. That was kind of like my golden ticket moment, because like I said, I never really thought I would be able to get one of these, especially not on like launch day. But yeah, shout out to Jake Randall. Please sub to his channel, or at least check out some of his content. I'm gonna link it in the description of this video. So these are some tips that I have for you guys to be able to snag one hopefully soon. Check Wario64's Twitter. He is a I guess video game enthusiast, but he also is very fast at posting restock times and links, as well as I'll mention some other places that you could check in my description of the video if you want to see some Twitter accounts that you could follow. I've been using stock drops to try to see if I can snag an RTX 3000 series card and just do like kind of like a review and hopefully get my system a little performance bump. So so far I haven't been able to snag one of those, but we'll see what happens. You can also use different websites and Discord channels to keep track of inventory and drops. I found this to be helpful. I've had sometimes the ability to at least put in my cart, but some of these RTX 3000 GPUs, they're way expensive, and then they're only selling like the 3090s, and then they're bundling them with random stuff that I don't need. So yeah, it's not worth it. I'll wait until I can get that 3080 at retail price. Yeah, and my biggest thing is like availability is going to get better with time. I think there was an article recently by Sony where they were just like, yeah, we've exhausted all initial orders, like in terms of their inventory. So it's going to take a while for them to, you know, basically on a global scale, to get those, you know, consoles out to you guys. But one thing I'm going to just note, if you are a gamer who is really craving like these, like kind of like the latest games, because yes, the hardware is cool, but right now there's not a lot of like official like PS5 titles besides Miles Morales, which a lot of these games, they're available for the PS4, and you will basically get this enhanced version for the PS5 when you get the PS5. Like, it just upgrades for free. So just look into that on a per game basis and make, you know, obviously, you know, everybody wants to get a PS5 if you can, but what I'm saying is if you have a PS4 already or a PS4 Pro, you're good for a little bit, especially in terms of the games. You can still experience all the latest titles, and you'll have that free upgrade when you do get the PS5. So I don't know, I would say, you know, focus on other things that are more important right now. Yeah, let's get into the review. Let's kind of show you what my experience was like, and then if you guys have any questions or comments for me, I will take a look in the comments below. I'm also posting some helpful links as well as deals on my Twitter account, so definitely follow me there. It's at SomaVids, SOMAVIDZ, and you can also check out my Instagram at SomaGamingVids to follow me there. And yeah, I'll be posting some, you know, different content and maybe like some cool pictures and stuff of anything that I'm trying to review, or just things that I think are interesting. So definitely make sure to check those out. So let's take a look at the unboxing process. So the unboxing for the PS5 is not really that exciting, but I wanted to include some footage so you guys could kind of see what came in the box. It was packaged really well. It came with a little thank you note with a code that I did redeem, but it gave you some PS skins. But yeah, the packaging was really good. This is like the standard retail packaging. It is I got the disc version, so it includes the ability to read 4K Blu-rays, as well as you know, basically buy pre-owned games, because that's where I'm gonna get the most deals at. Just so you guys know, GameFly had some pretty good deals not that long ago. I was able to get The Last of Us 2 and Ghost of Tsushima for like a pretty good price. So definitely right now there's like a lot of sales going on, so if you guys are looking for any PS4 deals, definitely check them out. Yeah, it was even though it was packaged in another package, there was multiple more layers to unravel before we could get inside. So inside the box you get a couple of components that you're going to need to connect to your TV. You're going to get your instruction manual, as well as like a safety guide, quick start guide. You're going to get a little base that you need to attach it on if you want to lay it flat or have it standing up. You get your HDMI 2.1 cable, the one dual sense controller, which felt really nice in the hand to hold. You're gonna get your power cable, and also included in the box, which I didn't open and then later had to go back, was a USB-A to USB-C charging cable for the controller. You're gonna need that the first time you kind of connect it to your console. Alright, so what else do we get in the box? The console, right? So it took me a bit of time to get it out of the box. It's a little bit harder to get out than you might think. Like I said, it's packaged really, really well. Yeah, this thing is like rock solid, and thankfully so. It was kind of an expensive purchase, so I'm glad that they packaged it so well. But once you actually finally get it out the box, we can finally unveil it, and boy did it look great. So as you can see, it does have that router shape, as people are making fun of it in the memes. This is the back of the console. So you have, I believe there's 2 USB ports, Ethernet jack, as well as HDMI port to connect it to a TV or a monitor. You're also going to get your power supply input, so you can basically keep it connected and get power from. This is the angle from the front. Yeah, there's the disk drive. Again, people were taking out those side panels and painting them. I didn't do that. One thing I want you to pay attention to is, if you can see it, there's little X's and O's, and I thought that was just really cool, as well as triangles. They're all the PlayStation controller buttons, those shapes that are really etched into the key. This is the OS and the UI. I just wanted to show you quickly what it kind of looked like. It's really smooth, it's clean. I don't really remember the PS3s, but it's kind of a departure from that, obviously. You get cards for each of the games that you're currently playing, PS Now, and the first game I'm going to actually show you guys is Astro's Playroom. It's the free game that comes with every PS5, and I thought it would be really good for you guys to see kind of what this gameplay looks like. Then we're going to take a look at Spider-Man Miles Morales, the PS5 edition. Okay? And then I'll give you guys my post-analysis and thoughts, but enjoy the gameplay for a little bit, and then we'll come back and just kind of do a post-analysis. Yeah. Okay, so now that we've had a look at Astro's Playroom, we're going to take a look at Miles Morales with the Fidelity mode. Shout out to my friend Danny for doing play share so we could kind of see what this game looks like. And I can't wait for you to see it. Check it out. Okay.
Here we go, so 30 frames per second, and we're going to go through some different movies.
Okay, sounds good.
Alright, so the frame rate drops when doing the sharing.
Yeah, it's all good.
Yeah. I'm gonna find some buildings and
Sounds good. It still looks pretty good for 30 frames a second though, right?
Yeah. And I was playing the first Spider-Man on PS4, it was 30 frames all the times.
Yeah, I can toss this.
Oh, okay.
I see the ray tracing.
Got a crime feed from the app. Donation stand's been dropped.
Cool, I can see it. I can see some in the
Yeah.
Wow, this game really does look pretty poppin', yeah?
Yeah. It was so nice. Alright, just drinks. Alright, oh, here's one.
Ooh, nice. Ooh, nice. We can see you.
Look at the ray tracing on this. Now, on the performance mode, you won't see any reflections of ray tracing come off.
Yeah. That's correct.
Man! He's the real deal. It's really him, man. Over here.
This one I noticed the reflection.
All right, that's enough of the cheap knockoff Spider-Man
Nice.
impersonator. Miles, I'm getting a lot of reports of a helicopter out of control. Come on, shake the leg!
Happy holidays, Spider-Man. Looking good.
Nice.
Why did I make
Can you try to like climb up the building? Let's see if you can capture more.
Yeah, this is the first time I'm actually like trying out Fidelity also.
still
There's
so
no clean up performance like this. Wait.
Yeah. Whoa, it's the other. Yeah, it's from the other building. Yeah.
Yeah.
Keep up the good work, new guy.
Yo, that is sick, dude. I'm loving that.
Yeah, if you think this is cool, I can't wait till you get your ray tracing graphics card.
Here, do this right here too.
What? What's that?
What? Okay, yeah. Performance definitely would not show any of this like that.
Yeah, but performance, like, even though it's not performance, it looks so smooth. Like, it doesn't seem like it's 30 frames a second. It seems really smooth to me.
Oh, here's another.
Oh! Wow, this is cool.
Yeah, I'm gonna stick to play Fidelity for a bit too. I want to get used to it. And like the ray tracing and the nice movements.
The reflections, one, look amazing, but two, also, like, I noticed the game loaded, like, so fast, right?
Yeah, like within seconds. Yeah, this is so nice.
Alright, do some cool, like, little acrobatics or something, like, yeah. Ooh, yeah. Fight some people.
too high, folks. You'll pay for that!
Yeah, I wish
Keep an eye on the spider. Every man for himself! Can't get me now! Can't get that far on our own.
is it hard to control this game or is it easy?
If I was these guys, I really would have left the city after the convoy escape.
What are your favorite places to go in the city? Is it like a cool building you like or something? Because it's supposed to be like real New York, right? Like.
And honestly, Christmas?
Yeah, a lot of it, like Times Square's dope here. I went to the Empire State Building last night.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's the tallest building here, but
Yeah, let's go to Empire State. That'd be dope. Like, check that out.
let me see if it's this one here.
Really nice.
This tower as well. Although, like, I'm really going for the Avengers Tower.
Hey, Miles, MJ's flying into JFK next Tuesday. You mind covering patrol for me? No problem. She's been gone a while, huh?
Peter.
You must be glad she's coming back. Yeah.
What do you think of the new redesigned Peter? Did you play the original?
By calling her cold, calculating, and humorless.
The original.
Lavish praise in Sicaria. They're basically BFFs now.
More than this one.
Yeah. Everybody says this one's too young. Man.
And slightly frightening.
Yeah,
Okay, meet you up Tuesday. Bye. And thanks again.
Ooh, Times Square.
There's a crime going on around here.
Okay, so now we're going to take a look at Miles Morales with the performance mode on. The commentary kind of got cut off for this one because I was using the headphones with the controller, and basically what that does is it then has all the audio come through the headphones and not through your TV speakers. So anyway, just to kind of give you an overview, what you're going to notice is there are going to be basically a much faster frame rate, and then obviously reflections are kind of turned off. So normally you should see Miles Morales in the window. You cannot when performance mode is on, but my friend Danny, he mentioned that the gameplay was so much smoother. At least to him it felt like buttery smooth, and again that's because it's running at double the frame rate. Again, obviously like the game looks pretty great, you know, even without ray tracing, but ray tracing really gives you that immersion, and it's representative of what you would see if you were looking at the street. You would see those reflections in in the ice on the streets. You would see it in the windows and the glass, and that's just how your eye actually perceives the world around you. So ray tracing is very impressive to see it in the consoles. I think that we've come to a day and age where the consoles are as, I wouldn't say as powerful as a PC, but they're definitely getting there, and they have a lot of that same, underlying DNA, so to speak. So I think it should be better for game developers to actually code for PC games. Like this should really do wonders for AMD's graphics card division, because like I said, they haven't been doing so hot in the last couple of years, but with this I think trend, they're gonna see a lot of their graphics cards hopefully get some advantages, because again developers are encoding for them on the consoles. So and that's just not on a GPU side, that's also for a CPU side, because again they're still using Zen 2 cores, which again if they're optimizing for that architecture on the consoles, that should lead to some benefits on the PC space, as well as their Xbox is produced by Microsoft, and Microsoft is what like Windows is what you're going to run all your PC games on anyway. So if they're whatever advantages they find on the consoles, I think it is going to transfer over to the PC space. So it's just an interesting place to kind of look at. What we're going to do now is we're just going to try to wrap it up and just take a look at, you know, some of my final thoughts with just playing with the system for the first couple of weeks, and then you know, give you my verdict about whether it's worth purchasing or not. So let's get into that. So the boot up is really fast. It gets into the UI pretty quickly. It's fairly quiet. That's why it's so massive. It has a huge heatsink, and the fan is, I think, fairly large. So that's why, just again, basic physics, larger fan, it can spin at a slower rate, and that's why it's, you know, going to be quieter. I think the UI looks really beautiful and it's functional. I like how they separate your games from your services like Netflix or Amazon Prime, and it just makes it easier for you to navigate. The DualSense controller I thought was used pretty well in the Astro's Playroom game, which I didn't, again, do too much commentary because I wanted you to just kind of see it. But the game actually makes use of the DualSense, you know, the name essentially. The triggers, they provide haptic feedback. So for example, if you are pulling on, like, you could say the rope and trying to get out some of those items, you feel it in the triggers. Also when you're, you know, you could say, like, when you're moving around different surfaces, you can feel it in the controller, like what, you know, sand feels versus the grass. You can also, whenever he uses his little jetpack and like tries to maneuver around, you can feel that in the triggers. I've also felt it in The Last of Us 2 when Ellie is trying to launch a arrow from a bow, and you can feel it, feel the tension. So it's just that additional, you know, sense of immersion that that this controller kind of gives you, which you can't really experience on any other platform, which is pretty amazing. I'm really interested to see how developers are going to use that further in the future, and I think it's going to be really like kind of a unique thing right now, at least to the PlayStation. Some PlayStation games are getting remastered for PS5. Ghost of Tsushima has actually a free update that lets it do 4K 60 FPS, and again, that'll be kind of focused on in a future video. But I'm just going to focus on PS games that, PlayStation 4 games that kind of may look a little bit better on the PS5. You do need PS Plus to get access to the online / multiplayer components of games, which is different than PCs, which normally all the multiplayer is free. But I was actually able to get a code from Stack Social. Yeah, I was trying to see if that link is still live for about half the price. And there's something called the PS Plus collection, and essentially you get access to about 20 games that are PS4 classics, but you may have not played them. In my case, I haven't had a chance to check them out. So for example, God of War, The Last of Us, it says 2, but I meant to say Last of Us remastered, the first one, and it makes it a good value proposition, especially if you don't have any games. And again, there was some patches released recently, so I think it should help mitigate some of those initial issues people were having. Some people were having issues with rest mode and charging, like controllers. I kind of had that experience where it wasn't really charging properly. Some people were having some actual game like crashing, and it was associated with Miles Morales in the rest mode. When you were putting the system in that mode, it was causing some problems. So I think the patches have fixed that for the most part. I haven't had too many issues playing the 2 games that I mentioned, and again, the gameplay footage was taken from a play share session with my friend Danny, who hadn't experienced any of those problems either. So final thoughts, again, it's not a PC replacement, but it offers incredible value. Like, it's gonna be hard, you're gonna be hard pressed to find a new system that has a GPU, a CPU on the same, I guess you could say, caliber. Right now you can't even find GPUs at a reasonable price, let alone with that crazy fast SSD and you know, the exclusive games that the PS5 offers. And the game selection is only gonna get better with time. Like I mentioned earlier, PS4 games are gonna you know, continue to like run great, and then probably you know, continue, maybe have some software updates and give you some additional features on the PS5. Again, The Last of Us 2 right out of the box, it did have that adaptive trigger enabled, just, you know, with the controller, so they knew that it already worked. No major bugs to report. For me, it was just taking a while to charge the controller, but I got a USB-C to USB-C cable for like $6 or $7 from Best Buy, and yeah, it just charges really fast. I use my computer to charge it. And again, I think PS Plus is worth it for newcomers who didn't experience some of the older titles. So again, just stay patient, keep waiting for opportunities to try to get it if you're actively looking for one. But like I said, at least for now, there's not too many like mind-blowing games that you need the PS5 to experience. If you have a PS4, I would just purchase those 1 or 2 games and then wait until availability gets better, because again, eventually you're gonna be able to get your hands on one, and just don't pay any scalpers additional prices. So again, I know this is a longer video than I normally do, but I just felt like there was a lot of content I wanted to cover, and it was kind of an interesting video because I did some like live commentary with someone else. So I thought that was kind of cool. But let me know what you guys think. Be sure to like, comment, and subscribe, and I will catch you guys in the next video. All right, take care. Peace.